Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalika and you're gonna be a love guru after watching this video. Me, 28 male, and my fiance, 26 female, of 6 years agreed on flirting with others is okay. She ended up cheating on me. So, about a month ago, my fiance and I agreed that we can flirt with others as long as it was casual and never gets physical. This was because we don't see each other as often, and we figured it was a good way to keep the relationship healthy. This was right before we managed to get an apartment together, leaving my family and extending my commute to work an extra hour so she can be closer to work and school. About maybe a week after this, she mentioned a guy that found her attractive at work. She is attracted to him as well, and they both expressed this to each other. Gradually, they started hanging out together after work in her car, and naturally, he made his move. She told him she's taken, showed her a ring, and that it can't go any further. Fast forward 2 weeks later, I get home super late at like 1 AM and I notice she still isn't home yet. 3 hours later, she comes in super joyful, striking up conversation about random stuff. I thought it was odd because I'm the night owl. She doesn't have many friends, and even I can't get her to stay up past this time. I knew it was the guy from work, and she even told me it was him. But they were just playing Uno and hanging out. A couple days later, I managed to get her to talk about that night and what she was doing. At some point in her car that night, they were cuddling. He kissed her neck and grabbed her ass. She followed through and did the same and grabbed his junk. She said in the moment she thought what she was doing was okay because she thought she had a free pass and that it wasn't that serious since they only kissed on the neck and there was no sex. She says she was finding the right time to tell me because she knew I would be upset. This doesn't make sense to me because it just means that she knew what she was doing was wrong. She even asked me if that was cheating. I reminded her about the nothing physical rule, and ever since we spoke about it, she's been pouring her heart out about how sorry she is and that she'll drop him immediately. But I still feel betrayed because I 100% trusted her to be able to make the right judgment in situations like this, or to even prevent it from getting this far. She clearly isn't mature enough, and it doesn't help that I inconvenience myself by moving this far away for her. So my question is, how do I deal with this? The thought of breaking up keeps appearing in my head, but it seems very irrational at the moment, for something that is probably minor. Okay, so every relationship is different, and every relationship has different boundaries. I think that there's either an extreme amount of miscommunication here or they have very different opinions on what flirting is. For me, flirting is something harmless and it can be fun and lighthearted, but does that mean I can go out all night with a colleague who I fancy? Absolutely not. OP is also right in the sense that she was finding the right time to tell him because she knew he would be upset, and that doesn't make any sense because surely if she thought it was all okay, then she would have come home and been like, "Hey honey, I'm just back from being out all night with a co-worker and he grabbed my ass. How cool is that?" I don't know. I certainly wouldn't be okay with it, and OP clearly isn't either. They need to have a serious talk. What do you think? My 28 male, fiance, 27 female, is a new kindergarten teacher. I feel bad, but her job really annoys me. This is her first year, and it's her passion. She really loves what she does, and she's always wanted to be in a helping profession, and that makes me happy. While we were dating, I was totally on board with her career choice, and I proposed when she got her Bachelor of Education. She always puts others before herself, which is a wonderful virtue. I am not a teacher. I have no interest in being a teacher. I never really liked school. I got through high school, struggled through college, and found a job in my field that I thoroughly enjoy. We've lived together for 4 years. She started as a kindergarten teacher this September. And I guess I didn't really expect the amount of extra work she brings home, or even her personality change since the start of the school year. I understand she's excited for her new job and it's a huge deal for her, but she seems obsessed. It's all she talks about and literally all she does. As I write this, she's cutting things out for her day tomorrow. She obviously doesn't have time to do it during the day, which I have to understand. I hear from others this is normal for a teacher. I guess I'm looking for advice from those whose significant others is a teacher. We used to do things, go for dinner, go to the movies, socials with friends. Even when we just stayed in, we enjoyed each other's company and doing things together. We've done very little together since she started, and if or when we do, she talks about her class almost the entire time. Since she's become a teacher, her evenings and weekends have been completely taken up by preparing lessons or crafting for her classroom. 9 times out of 10, the topic of conversation with her is what her next lesson will be, or what this one kid said that made her day, or what this other kid did to get put on a timeout. When I change the subject or try to talk about my day or my interests, or something maybe her and I could do for a date night, it lasts for maybe 2 minutes before she brings up her class again. I never dismiss it negatively. I try to show interest and I want to be supportive and understanding because she obviously loves what she does, but I'm starting to not care. She doesn't seem to care about my day or interests. I spend a lot more time out of the house with friends or by myself because I feel alone around her and get bored of the same thing every day at home. She seems to have no interest in doing anything else. I've tried talking to her about it, but it doesn't seem to help. I met a guy a few months ago, and it turned out he was married to one of my elementary school teachers. He told me they had split because it seemed like she didn't have the time for us. There's probably more to that story, but I don't want that to happen to us, and I've read a lot of stories about relationships going south because of one's commitment to teaching. I need advice from those who've experienced being in a relationship with a teacher and or reassurance that things will get better. Okay, so I can kind of relate to this. Buckle up while I tell you a story, and I promise it's relevant, I think. When I first started YouTube, I was fortunate enough to be caught up in the algorithm. My videos were getting crazy views, I was gaining subscribers like crazy. I was insistent on replying to every single one of my comments. And during that time I also had no clue what I was doing, so I spent a crazy amount of time learning how to edit my videos, how to edit out the mistakes in my audio, how to edit my audio to remove background noise, all of these things. I was completely swept up in YouTube. I would get home from work, record, edit, have dinner, and then continue recording and editing. Now, here's the problem. One day, I was casually talking to my now husband about YouTube, and this is a couple of weeks into that schedule, and he said something like, "Yeah, that's cool, but when was the last time we actually spent time together?" And that actually hit me like a ton of bricks, and I felt like the worst person in the world. I was so caught up in this brand new thing, learning all about it, how I can make it better, and DK was being super supportive about it and would listen to me talk about it all day long. I would eat dinner with him, watch an episode of something on TV, and then be right back to YouTube. And I never realised it. I had put him second on my priority list without even meaning to. We sat down and had a great talk about it. I apologised for being so absorbed, and he completely understood, and we made a plan on how to fix that going forward. Like, on my days off, if he was working, I would make sure that I had all my YouTube stuff done before he got home, and that way we could spend the rest of the day together doing whatever we wanted. It was just little things like that that made all the difference. So I think OP in the story, sorry for the tangent, needs to ask her a question like that. When was the last time we spent time together? Because she only started this new job in September, so of course she's at the height of excitement in this brand new thing. But if she doesn't get it or isn't willing to shift her attention slightly, then maybe it won't work out. I think my 26 female boyfriend, 25 male, is insecure that I have a better job than he does. He makes passive-aggressive comments and says I'm not being sensitive enough. We started dating at the end of college. We're in the same program, finance, and now work in the same sector. I got a job at, I guess, an objectively more prestigious company, and have been given a major promotion since I started working there. He works at a smaller, lesser-known company, and is having difficulties with his boss. Recently I've noticed that he seems to take every little thing extremely personally. For example, 2 days ago when he was worried about whether his international SIM card would work for a business trip to Korea, I said offhandedly, "Oh, it should, because my work phone has that SIM and it worked in Korea." I think this offended him, that I have a work phone and he doesn't, he has to use his own phone, etc. Because we were supposed to watch a movie that night and he decided to sleep early and was in a visibly bad mood all night. This morning, I was talking over breakfast about how I didn't know what to do with unmotivated trainees I was assigned after my promotion. And he said passive-aggressively, "Wah, woe is me, I have too many responsibilities," in this really mocking tone. When I asked him what his problem was and why he's been so upset lately, he just said, "Some people have real problems," and got up and left. I'd also asked him to look over a newsletter I'd written for my office, and he sent it back to me later that day, heavily edited. Seriously over-edited, considering that I'd asked him to look only for typos, which made me think he did that to lash out at me and prove that he was better than me somehow. These are just a few examples of something that's been happening almost daily for the past few months. Since this has escalated, I've tried twice to sit him down and talk to him seriously about what's bothering him, not accusing, but just asking, but he always says it's nothing and that he doesn't want to talk about feelings. The second time was yesterday, and when I tried to press him, he actually lashed out at me and accused me of being completely insensitive and being a psychopath with no empathy. I told him I had no idea how I was being insensitive because he wouldn't tell me what was wrong, but he said that I should be able to tell, and it's kind of scary that I don't get it. When I asked him if it's about my work versus his, he got up and left the room, and I have not spoken to him since. I have no idea what to do. I can't tell if I'm actually being massively insensitive or if we're having a communication problem. I feel like his ego is wounded, but if he won't talk to me about it, I can't figure out a way to fix this all on my own. I guess I could never talk about my work in front of him, but work is a huge part of my life right now, and I can't imagine living that way. What the hell am I supposed to do? I think this one is a bit more simple. He needs to stop being a big baby, sit down, and actually talk about it. Okay, so that's all for r/relationship advice. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. My Twitter, Discord, and Patreon links are in the description, and any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!